Hey everyone, how y'all doing? Welcome back to my channel. I am joined today by my friends from the 100 Acre Wood because today we are doing my Capturing Classics vlog for Winnie-the-Pooh. That was quite possibly the dumbest thing I've ever done. Yes, it is time to do another episode of my Capturing Classics series. If you do not know what this series is all about, basically I read a classic, share fun facts about the book or the author along the way, and then I watch a movie adaptation of that classic to compare and contrast. So up until now, I've been only reading books that I have read before. We've done Peter Pan, we did The Wizard of Oz, we did Matilda, and we did Anne of Green Gables. But today we are doing Winnie-the-Pooh, which I have actually not read. I know that must be like a huge shock to everybody because I am like quite possibly one of the biggest Winnie-the-Pooh fans ever, but I've never read it and I don't know why. I bought the Complete Tales of Winnie-the-Pooh by A.A Milne at Barnes & Noble recently, and I am so ready to dive in and read them. So I think there's two books in here. We have Winnie-the-Pooh and the House at Pooh Corner. I literally could not be more excited to jump into this book. Winnie-the-Pooh literally means so much to me for so many reasons. I've loved Winnie-the-Pooh since I was a child, and it just brings so much happiness and comfort to me. So I'm really looking forward to jumping into this today and hopefully loving it. I mean, I guess we'll find out, but this edition has some really cute illustrations in it. I'm just so ready to read the original stories that brought to life my favorite characters. So in this video, I will be watching some Winnie-the-Pooh movies. I don't know if there are any movies that are directly adapted from these books. The first book is just called Winnie-the-Pooh. There is a Disney movie just called Winnie-the-Pooh, so I'm definitely gonna be watching that one. Like I said, don't know if it's a direct adaptation, so I'll be watching that. There are some other Winnie-the-Pooh movies on Disney Plus that I will be checking out. There's also a movie called Goodbye Christopher Robin, which is all about the author A.A Milne of these books, so I definitely want to watch that. And then I think me and Alyssa are going to be watching Christopher Robin together because she's never seen it and it is quite possibly one of my favorite movies of all time. I have 3 of the plushies from the movie. Still haven't gotten my hands on Tigger, but I'd like to do that one day. But yeah, so I think it is time now to jump into Winnie-the-Pooh.
Deep in the 100-acre wood, where Christopher Robin plays, you'll find the enchanted neighborhood of Christopher's childhood days.
Okay, so I forgot to mention in the intro of this video that it's actually National Winnie-the-Pooh Day today, January 18th. I believe it's also the author A.A Milne's birthday, which is why it's National Winnie-the-Pooh Day. And I just really wanted to upload this video on Winnie-the-Pooh Day because I thought that'd be cute. But anyway, I'm on chapter 3, which is page 32 of Winnie-the-Pooh. And I think that A.A Milne has like a very charming, cutesy writing style. I don't know if this is across all of his children's books because I do believe he has more, or if it's just reserved for Winnie-the-Pooh, but it is a very charming, cutesy writing style. The way that it's told, it's just very charming. I don't really know how else to describe that. Chapter 1, however, was told as if he himself, I'm assuming, is telling a story to Christopher Robin about Winnie-the-Pooh, so it's told a bit differently. Chapter 2 did not follow that same format. It was more as if we were following Winnie-the-Pooh himself, which I have to say I enjoyed more than I enjoyed the first chapter. And so far I'm noticing, at least across the first 2 chapters, that there isn't like an overarching story. It's just kind of like little stories each chapter about Winnie-the-Pooh. We will see if that continues. I think I would prefer if it was like an overarching story about Pooh Bear, but I'm not gonna complain really if it's not. I just really love Winnie-the-Pooh. So far I am enjoying it. The second story was a little weird. It was about him getting stuck in like Rabbit's front door, I think. It's like a hole in his like house. And so Rabbit went to go get Christopher Robin for help, and when Christopher Robin came back, he was like, "You're gonna be stuck here until you get thin again." And Pooh Bear was like, "How long is that gonna take?" And he's like, "Oh, a week, I think." So he literally just stays in this hole for a week and he just like isn't allowed to eat, and they read stories to him until he gets thin again. And I thought that was a little weird, but it looks like chapter 3 has to do with Piglet because it's literally called Pooh and Piglet Go Hunting and Nearly Catch a Woozle. We've heard one thing about the heffalump, haven't actually seen a heffalump, it's just kind of mentioned, but I'm excited to read about the Woozle, and I'm excited to read about Piglet because Piglet is my personal favorite character. I just like connect to him a lot and I think he's adorable, so I'm very excited to read a story story about Pooh and Piglet, who are two of my favorites, and I love their friendship so much, so I'm very excited to read this story. I've also really enjoyed seeing little like sayings and things that are very prevalent in the Disney adaptations of Pooh Bear that I didn't know were originally in the book, and I'm really glad that they are. Things like Winnie the Pooh saying "oh bother," and things like Christopher Robin saying "silly old bear," just like those little memorable lines that they always say. I'm really glad that they're in the book and weren't just from the Disney adaptations. I don't know, I just love Winnie the Pooh, so I'm gonna keep reading. Okay, so it is now time for my very first Winnie the Pooh fun fact. So this is one that I feel like a lot of people know, but if you didn't know, Winnie the Pooh's original name, like the actual stuffed bear that Christopher Robin had in real life, his name was Edward, but then Milne's son Christopher Robin changed the name to Winnie after visiting the London Zoo and becoming infatuated with a black bear named Winnie. So the female bear was actually brought to the zoo by a Canadian soldier, so we love that because I'm obviously Canadian. And he named her after Winnipeg, which was his hometown, and it was then shortened to Winnie. So I love that it was like from a Canadian soldier and the name was actually Winnipeg, and I just think that's so cute how like Christopher Robin met this bear and was like in love with it basically and decided to rename his bear. I definitely had a bear when I was younger that I loved, and I changed his name when I like had an infatuation with something. Like originally his name was Special Bear because he had like movable arms and like legs, and I thought that was the coolest thing. And then I changed his name to Corduroy because I was obsessed with the Corduroy show and books, so I named him Corduroy. So I have that in common with Christopher Robin. But yeah, that is the very first fun fact, which is, like I said, one that I think a lot of people know, but if you didn't, now you do.
If ever there's a tomorrow when we're not together, there's something you must remember.
And what might that be, Christopher Robin?
You're braver than you believe, and stronger than you seem, and smarter than you think.
Oh, that's easy. We're braver than a bee, and longer than a tree, and taller than a goose. Or was that a goose?
No, silly old bear. You're braver than you believe, and stronger than you seem, and smarter than you think. But the most important thing is, even if we are apart, I'll always be with you. I'll always be with you.
Okay, so I just finished chapter 4 and it was all about Eeyore, which I love, but it was about him losing his tail, and it was about Winnie the Pooh trying to find his tail for him, and it was just like the most charming, cute little thing. And we find out that Apple has been using it at his door because he didn't know that it was Eeyore's tail, and I just thought it was so cute, and I absolutely adore Eeyore. And so I don't know, that one was my favorite so far. But the next one is called Piglet Meets a Heffalump, so we get not only Piglet but we also get a Heffalump, so I'm very, very excited about this chapter. But yeah, this does not follow an overarching story. It's just little stories in each chapter about the characters, which, like I said, I'm not complaining about. I think I just would have preferred like an actual overarching story that had like a beginning, middle, and end, you know? Okay, so I have just finished Winnie the Pooh, and like overall that was pretty cute. I mean, the story wasn't like amazing, but I just love these characters so much, and they're what I come to these stories for. Pooh Bear and Piglet and Eeyore especially. But yeah, like overall it was lighthearted and cute, and like I said, A.A Milne's writing style for Pooh is just so like charming and cutesy and like whimsical and fun, and it's not something to be taken super seriously. It's just really lighthearted and just fun to read. One thing though, and I found this out recently before I started reading this book, like a few weeks ago or something, that Tigger is not featured in the first book. He doesn't come in until the second one, and I don't know if it's because Christopher Robin, like the real one, didn't have Tigger yet, or he just wasn't written into the story. I don't know, but there is no Tigger in this first one, and you know what, I did miss his presence, his like bouncing and just like fun energy. It was missed in these stories, but he is apparently in the second one, so I am looking forward to hopefully seeing some Tigger moments in the second book. Another thing that I'm curious about is there are so many wonderful Pooh Bear quotes that I'm obsessed with. Like, I have so many Winnie the Pooh quotes saved on my like Pinterest, and I don't know where those are from. I don't know if they're from a Disney film. I don't think they are, because they're usually associated with these drawings. I don't know if they're from the second book, because they definitely weren't in this first book. Like, I just don't know where all these like famous Winnie the Pooh quotes are coming from. There are so many quotes, specifically between like Piglet and Pooh, that I just love so much, like quotes about friendship and like love, and I don't know where those come from. I really hope they make an appearance in the second book, because there were definitely no quotes like that in the first one, so I'm really hoping that they like came from the second book. Otherwise, I have no idea where they came from, and I would like to know. So I will definitely keep you updated on that if I remember for the second book in this collection. See, because like there's even a quote on the back that I love from Pooh and Piglet. It says, "Pooh, promise me you won't forget about me ever, not even when I'm 100. So I'm going to assume that means that the quotes are from A.A Milne, and hopefully that they will appear in the second book. I have high hopes now. But overall, I really liked the illustrations from Ernest H. Shepard. I thought that they were really cute and charming and really added to the story, and I wasn't having like the best day today, and this definitely like brought a smile to my face and did exactly what I wanted it to do, and it did offer me some comfort, which was nice. Anyway, I'm going to get to the second book tomorrow because I do have things to do today, but I want to share our next Winnie the Pooh fun fact. So apparently the yellow big-bellied character we see depicted in these books of Winnie the Pooh is not a literal representation of Christopher Robin's teddy bear, or even the black bear, obviously, that Christopher Robin loved from the zoo. The illustrator instead drew the memorable Pooh based on his own son's teddy bear, which was named Growler. So I think that's kind of funny, because like I have seen pictures of the original Pooh, and it does kind of look similar to this, but like a skinnier version. So I think it's fun that like the illustrator brought in some of his own personal stuff into it and drew his son's bear. I think that's really cute. So it's like two family stories kind of coming together, which I think is fun. But I will return to you guys tomorrow to talk more about Winnie the Pooh and read the second book and share some more fun facts. Okay, so I'm on page 256 now. I am reading The House at Pooh Corner, which is the second book, obviously, in this little collection. We have met Tigger, which makes me very happy. He hasn't had that many, like, parts yet, but besides that, I do like it, obviously. I love the Pooh Bear characters, but I think I was expecting to come across all of my favorite Pooh Bear quotes, and I just haven't yet. I know I mentioned this earlier in the vlog, and I was hoping that they'd show up in the second story, but they haven't yet, and now I'm still wondering, where do these quotes come from? Do they come from the poems that A.A Milne wrote about Winnie the Pooh? Because I'm pretty sure he wrote poems. Were they from Disney films and I'm just stupid? Like, I don't know. I'm not very far into this. I'm only on chapter 6. I don't know how many chapters there are, but there's still quite a few pages left, so maybe they'll pop up. But overall, what I'm getting from reading this is that Pooh and Piglet are still my favorites. I don't know, I am thinking it's quite cute. There are a lot of cute moments. But yeah, Pooh and Piglet are definitely my favorites, which I already knew going into this. Okay, so it is time for my next Winnie the Pooh fun fact. So apparently Christopher Robin, the real one, wasn't the biggest fan of his father's stories. Apparently children at school used to tease him about Winnie the Pooh, which I think is awful and so rude. And then as he got older, he felt that his father had earned his fame by standing on his son's shoulders, which, I mean, I can kind of see, but also like, it's Winnie the Pooh, you know? I don't know. And then in conjunction with that, both A.A Milne and Ernest Shepard also came to resent Winnie the Pooh, which breaks my little heart, because they felt that the bear overshadowed their other work, which I can understand, because when you write something that is just so iconic as Winnie the Pooh, and then you write other things as well that nobody knows about, I can see how that would definitely be frustrating, because I definitely don't know anything about A.A Milne beyond Winnie the Pooh, which is sad for him. So yeah, I just thought that was so interesting that they all kind of came to resent Winnie the Pooh, and it breaks my little heart. Okay, so I just found the first quote that I have seen from Winnie the Pooh. It's not like one of my favorite ones, but it's one that I've definitely seen around. So I've just seen that in the book. So maybe there are the other quotes somewhere along in this book and I just haven't gotten to them yet. Because there are so many quotes that I love from Winnie the Pooh. And I want to know like the context of them and like where they actually come from. So I would like to actually see them. So hopefully they do show up. like I said, will keep you updated. But I'm happy that I found at least one that I recognized so far. Okay, so I'm on page 329 now, on the last story, the last chapter in this whole book. And there's just this poem that I read, and I'm pretty sure it's almost word for word. Not completely, but almost word for word. For something that Eeyore says at the beginning of the Christopher Robin movie. And the story is called Christopher Robin and Pooh Come to an Enchanted Place and We Leave Them There. And it starts off by saying Christopher Robin was going away. So I'm pretty sure that, like, this is the story that, like, the beginning of Christopher Robin, the movie, is inspired by, because at the very beginning of that movie they're throwing like a little going away party for Christopher Robin because he's going to a boarding school. It's time for him to like grow up, basically. I'm thinking that's what this is. It might not be exactly like what it is in Christopher Robin, but I'm thinking that's where the inspiration for that came from. My memory could be off, but I watched Christopher Robin not that long ago, and I'm pretty sure at least the beginning of this poem is what is in the movie, and that just made me very happy for some reason. But it's the last story. We have not encountered any more quotes that I'm familiar with, so we're gonna see what comes up here. But I'm thinking that the rest of the quotes are potentially from like poems that A.A Milne did, or they're just from something else. I don't know, but I think this might end up being my favorite story. I don't know why. Maybe it's because it's connected to the Christopher Robin movie, which is my favorite. I don't know. There is more evidence that this is from the beginning of the Christopher Robin movie. There's a little conversation that Pooh and Christopher are having right now, and I'm just like, that's from the movie. I'm very happy right now. We've just come across one of my other favorite quotes. So it seems like this last story is giving me everything that I've been wanting for this entire book. I'm living right now. Like, this is what I've been wanting so desperately. So I'm gonna keep reading. Maybe the other ones will come as well. There's one quote in particular that I think will show up in this story. So we will see. Never mind. The next page was the last page, and it was literally just like one paragraph and then it was over. So that was a little anticlimactic because I thought there was gonna be a lot more. So now I'm very confused because there are quotes like, how lucky am I to have something that makes saying goodbye so hard. That's the quote that I thought was going to be in the story, and it's not. And then there's the like, you're braver than you believe, stronger than you seem, and smarter than you think. Where's that quote? There are so many quotes and I'm like, where did they come from? I'm so confused. Anyways, so I finished Winnie-the-Pooh. That's not what I was expecting. Okay, I need to think for a minute and then I'll come back.
And Pooh, promise you won't forget me? Ever?
Oh, I won't, Crystal. I promise.
Not even when I'm 100?
How old shall I be then?
99. Silly old pear.
Let me give you my final thoughts on Winnie-the-Pooh. So overall, I found a lot of enjoyment in these two books. They were very cute and simple and just very Winnie-the-Pooh-esque, obviously, but they just gave me all of the Winnie-the-Pooh vibes. Some stories I liked more than others. I definitely would say the last story is one of my favorite ones. And before I watch any of like the Disney movies, I will say that I think I love what Disney did with what they had. Like, I love the way that they expanded upon these characters and the 100 Acre Wood in the Disney movies and books, because I feel like we have a good foundation here, and obviously this is the original story and the original characters, but I think personally I just love the Disney adaptations of these characters way more. That might be awful of me to say, but I think there's just more personality and more likeness to them in the Disney films. Like I said, I haven't really watched that many of them. I've read a lot of the books though, and I am very excited to watch the Disney films. But like, just from watching like Christopher Robin, that is one of my favorite movies of all time, and the characters just come to life in that movie, and I think they weren't quite as alive in the books. Do you know what I mean? I don't know. Let me know if you've read Winnie-the-Pooh down below and what you think about it, especially in comparison to the Disney adaptations. I'd be really curious to know. But overall, I think my favorite part about this was honestly the illustrations. They're just so cute and so iconic that I really enjoyed seeing them and seeing the context of them and seeing how Ernest H. Shepard brought to life A.A. Milne's words. But I also did really like A.A. Milne's writing style. It was just very whimsical and fun and cutesy, like I've mentioned a million times in this vlog. So basically, I don't regret reading this book. I'm very happy that I did and that I now have read the source material for all the Disney movies that I love and the Disney characters that I adore. Will I ever reread it? I don't know if I'll ever reread it in its entirety. I think if I ever have children, I will read it to them because I think a child will get a lot of enjoyment out of this because obviously that's who it's meant for. But I think I would read like individual stories again, especially that last one because it was just like so cute and fun. But now it is time to share yet another Winnie the Pooh fun fact, and this one is actually my favorite, which is why I saved it until I was finished reading the book. But it's also the one that makes me really angry, and I will explain why. So obviously the Winnie the Pooh books are inspired by Christopher Robin's real stuffies. So if you're ever wondering where the real stuffies are now, they are at the New York Public Library in the Stephen A. Schwartzman building, and they've been there since 1987. So it's Pooh, Eeyore, Piglet, Kanga, and Tigger. So yeah, basically visitors from all over can go and see the original stuffed animals that inspired the beloved storybook characters. Although Roo is not shown in the display because the real Christopher Robin actually lost him, and so they were not able to put him in the display. But the reason why this fun fact makes me angry is because I've been to New York. I saw the New York Library, but I didn't go in because I did not know that the Winnie the Pooh stuffies were in the library. I didn't know until I was looking up fun facts for this video, and I became very angry because I did not go into the library. I vividly remember my mom asking me if I wanted to go in, and my thought process was, why would I want to go into a library that I can't check books out from? As if it wouldn't just be cool to go into a library. So I'm very angry because I could have had the chance to see the Winnie the Pooh stuffies and I didn't, and I'm very, very upset about it because they're just like so cute, and I think it's very interesting to see them in their original forms, and you can see how the illustrations kind of were based off of these, especially Eeyore and Tigger. Little Piglet I think is so funny because he looks completely different than in the illustrations and in the Disney movies. So the rest of the vlog is going to be with me watching some Winnie the Pooh movies, which I'm very, very excited about. I think the first one I'll be watching is probably Christopher Robin. Okay, so I have now watched 2 Winnie the Pooh movies. So I watched Christopher Robin yesterday with my friend Alyssa, which was just so much fun. She hadn't seen it before, whereas I've seen it many, many times. So it was really fun to like share that experience with her and have her watch it for the very first time, and she loved it, and she said it's like one of her new favorite movies, which made me literally so happy. And then today I watched just Winnie the Pooh. It was an animated movie that came out back in 2011. I was gonna watch 2 more movies. I'm still gonna watch one of them, and it is The Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh. And then I was also going to watch Goodbye Christopher Robin, which is a movie based on A.A. Milne's life. But I just watched the trailer for it, and I no longer feel like watching it. I'm sure I will watch it eventually, but I am just currently not in the mood for it. And it's not like an adaptation of Pooh Bear anyway, so I feel like I don't need to watch it in this video. So, but for this vlog, I'm just going to watch The Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh. And just based off of the description on Disney Plus, it does look like it deals with some stories from the book, like dealing with Tigger coming to the 100-Acre Wood for the first time. So I'm very excited to watch that, and I think I'll try to get to it tomorrow. But as for the movies that I did watch, Christopher Robin, first of all, is not actually based on a story from Winnie the Pooh, because obviously it's about Christopher Robin when he's older and he has to like go back to the 100-Acre Wood to help out this little guy. But like I mentioned when I was reading the last chapter of The House at Pooh Corner, the beginning of the movie is taken from the books but like added upon and like changed a little bit, and that's pretty much the only thing that's taken from the books besides obviously the the characters and the little sayings like silly old bear and don't bother and things like that, and Pooh Bear being a bear of very little brain. However, the movie that I watched today, Winnie-the-Pooh, did have some things from the books, but the overarching story of it was something made up. So basically it starts off with Pooh Bear looking for some honey, which I think there was a chapter in the book where he was looking for honey and like going to everybody's houses looking for honey. So they kept like that core idea, I think. And then he runs into Eeyore, and Eeyore has lost his tail, and that's one of the stories. I really love Eeyore. He was so cute in the movie. I don't know, there were just so many good moments in this movie. It was only an hour long, but I did really enjoy it. I thought it was adorable. So tomorrow I will watch the Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh, and I will report back to talk to you guys about it. Okay, so I watched the Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh, and I enjoyed it. I might have enjoyed Winnie the Pooh more than I enjoyed this one, but so many stories from the books were in this movie. Most of the movie, if not all of the movie, were originated from the Winnie the Pooh stories, which was kind of cool to see. It was very cute and fun, but I was feeling very tired when I was watching it, so my attention span wasn't all there, and I just wasn't paying as much attention as I would have liked to. But overall, it was enjoyable. There were a lot of fun moments. It was cute. I love the characters. It was a good time. But that brings us to the end of this vlog. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, give it a huge thumbs up. Subscribe if you've not yet already, and I'll see you guys next time.